Korriban, ancient birthplace of the Sith. We believed ruins were all that remained of their evil empire.
Well, it looks like they were wrong, because the Sith are in fact back, and they are just as pissed off as they ever were. My name's Rob, I'm with FleshEatingZipper.com, and we're going to be doing a little video preview of Star Wars: The Old Republic. So, sit back, buckle your seatbelts, and enjoy.
Keep them off me! Hyperdrive's almost ready!
Whew, I am loving this game. So the first thing you can see is that the trailers don't really lie. I mean, we've got spaceship combat, we've got lightsaber combat, we've got guys shooting flamethrowers and shit at each other. The game really gets intense. Now, I've been playing this for a while. I've played characters of every single class and pretty much every race, but I'm not going to show all of that because this video would end up being 2 hours long. What I'm going to show is just some highlights. So let's go ahead and start that off. The first thing we're going to look at is the beginning of the game. We'll go ahead and start off with character creation and the opening sequences and events that you go through, and we'll just kind of go from there. So, as you would expect, when you get into the character creation portion of the game, you're going to have a number of different races and classes to choose from. Now, across this top bar, you can go through and see various attributes of all of the different classes and races and everything, just by clicking on those. You can also see here your talent trees that you can branch to later in the game, kind of get a feel for the character that you're going to be playing. This is important because it gives you all the information right there in front of you. You don't have to go digging through websites and book after book after book to try to figure it out. Now, once you've selected what race and class of character you want to play, you get into the customization options, and there's a number of those. Here I'm selecting facial tattoos for my character, and oh gosh, you've got hairstyle, body style, etc., like you would see in most MMOs, at least most modern ones. And this allows you to go through and make the character look how you want him to look, so you can play the style that you want to play. If you want to be a big hulking brute of a person going around smashing people, you can make your character look that way. And if you want to be a little skinny, frail looking Jedi wimp, well, you can do that too. And yes, I just called all of you Jedis wimps, because light side. Once you go through the customization options, then you can actually get into the meat of the game and start playing quests and killing things, and that's what we'll look at next.
There's a hermit named Spindrol who lives in the tomb of Ajunta Paul in the Valley of the Dark Lords.
Now, once you've gotten into the meat of the game, and you start dealing with NPCs and whatnot, you'll see that this is very classic BioWare. There you'll see the radio menu that pops up, which is, again, very typical of BioWare games, and that's a good thing, because BioWare is known for their stories and their NPC interactions and things like that. Now, here I've been given a quest where I have to go speak to a guy and perform a task for him. Now, here I'm running around the complex, lost because I've just started playing the game, and we'll see a couple of features. The first you're about to see is a red wall. Red walls are areas that you can't enter yet, either because you're not the right level or because you're not on part of a quest. You'll also see green walls that are very similar. That means you're allowed to go there. That's a place that you're supposed to be as part of your quest progression. Now I'm going to go outside, and you're going to see a little box I'm standing next to right there. That's a bind point, and those basically allow you to discover areas for quick travel later. Now, let's go have a look at some combat. Okay, off in the distance here, I've got a couple of baddies. I'm going to go pick a fight with one of them. And combat in this is really the magical MMO formula. You have a series of buttons that correspond with abilities. and you use those abilities to fight your opponents. Now, one thing that has to be said and kept in mind is that the Old Republic does not use any form of auto attack. That is, if you're in combat and you stop pressing buttons, you stop attacking. You'll stand there like a tool and get eaten right there in front of everybody, and you'll look like an idiot. So keep in mind, no attacking unless you're telling it to attack. It doesn't auto attack, it doesn't auto swing, anything. Here you can see I just basically walked up and stood in front of that guy, and now, right in the middle of combat, I just stop. I'm doing nothing at all because I didn't tell it to use abilities. So that means that everything's fast-paced. You completely control everything that's going on. You don't have an option to stick it in auto attack and sit there and eat a hoagie while you're in the middle of a fight. You have to stay on top of things. It's a good system because it forces you to interact, makes it much more exciting. Now, again, I played several different types of characters and played a couple of them to some pretty high levels and never spent any time idle, which in my opinion is it's magic. You're part of the game. Now, a little bit later in the game, you'll see I've got a nice double-bladed lightsaber, a lot more experience, and a lot more fluidity to what I'm doing. And we absolutely lay waste to these guys. Moving around, getting behind them for a little tap in the neck. Boop! There you go. Now, let's go have a look at some space combat. Now, here's the inside of the ship, which is going to lead us into space combat here in just a moment. I'm going to take a look around real quick. There's my little droid buddy, one of my crew members. And moving on, we've got a little cargo hold, which is kind of like a bank where we can keep our things. I'm going to run down the hallway here, and we've got a holocron projector, which is where my nefarious Sith Lords will give me instructions. Sith. Down the other hall, we have a conference room. And across the hallway here is little crew quarters, and there's another one of my crew members. Now, crew members are a vital part to the way this game is played because they're going to do all kinds of things for you, including crafting and whatnot. We're going to run down here and have a look at the cockpit, and you'll see here we've got some seats. We've got a galaxy map, which is behind me right now, and that's how we make our jumps through hyperspace. We'll hit the galaxy map, and we'll pick a fight. Okay. Have a look at space combat here in Star Wars The Old Republic. Now, I'm in a fight with a bunch of dirty Republic dogs because they're dirty Republic dogs and they need to die. And taking a pass at a cruiser here. Now, what you can't hear is the sound. And the sounds are absolutely amazing. When a ship explodes or a missile goes off, it absolutely sounds like a bomb going off in your room. And you'll notice here I'm leading these targets. It's very important. I found out pretty early on. If you've got targets off in the distance and you aim directly at them, you're just not going to hit them. It becomes a nightmare. Also, both sticks to barrel roll. Actually, no, that's not true. It's the space bar, but you can barrel roll, which is pretty hot. So the space combat is kind of like it's on a track. It kind of leads you where you need to be, which is a good thing because space is huge and people get lost and they'd be dealing with tickets constantly saying, I'm lost, what do I do? But you then get to steer and fire with your mouse. And the left button fires your lasers, right button fires missiles. And again, when those missiles go off, man, it's absolutely insane. Now, it seems like this is going to be a pretty big part of the game very, very early on, like right around the time I got my ship. There were already 4 spacefight missions, so I'm sure this is going to be very integral to the game. And I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of this after release. Get a chance to get out there and slay some dirty Republican types and Jedis and stuff. And that's that. We're going to have a look at PvP now.
Sentient beings, the glorious and colossal Gerada the Hutt welcomes you to the pit.
Okay, here we're playing a game called Hutt Ball. Now, Hutt Ball is some kind of weird, sick, twisted combination of football and death, I guess. The idea is kind of like a capture the flag. You get a hold of a ball, which you can actually pass to other players, and everything's legal. So kill everything that gets in your way, like I just did to that poor sap. The action in this is absolutely intense. You've got people running around carrying balls and throwing them, and you're trying not to get killed and clear paths for the ball carriers at the same time. and it just really gets insane in here. Gonna get into a fight with a guy here. There's not a whole lot of one-on-one that happens, but every once in a while you find yourself in one of those situations, and unfortunately in this particular situation I got my ass kicked. So discretion being the better part of valor, I'm gonna run like hell here in just a second. And I find myself pretty quickly off here in another situation where we kill a guy and we've got the ball, so we're going to try to clear a path for the ball carrier. And I'll just kind of let you watch that while I sum up. Star Wars The Old Republic, man, it's absolutely insane. The game is full, chock full of just all kinds of action, great graphics, beautiful sound, and it's just really, really well put together. I am definitely getting a hold of this on launch day and will definitely be playing. So I will absolutely see all of you out there around the galaxy, and just be a Sith or I'll kill you.